Right people, enough about all the expensive cameras, tripods, gimbals, like all of the obvious things that you take on a shoot. I want to talk to you lot about some little bits that like are bare cheap that basically make your shoot actually work. Because I take all of these things on a shoot, and if I don't take them on a shoot, I'm 99% gonna fuck it up. So yeah mate. What are the chances of me sticking this on the end of my video? Bosh. Everyone does it, mate, do you know what I mean? So it shouldn't really be an issue. If you've got like a spare 12 quid on you, like $12, cheeky little number of like pocket change and that, these things can literally save your ass when you're on a shoot. And I'm not being funny, my ass has been saved so many times just by using these little things. And yeah mate, I feel like we should share that, do you know what I mean? Share the info. Let's get stuck in, mate. Bosh, what's going on you lot? I hope you're all sweet. Yeah mate, let's have a little chat about these things. Right, number one mate. Zoom H1. Now this thing costs like, I think it's like 80 quid. I think you can still get them for like $79, 79 quid, wherever you are in the world. Like if I say quid, it obviously means pounds, and if I say dollars, obviously it means American dollars, but you lot are from all around the world in that. Right, so look, yeah mate, Zoom H1. If your audio somehow messes up, if your microphone breaks, whatever you're recording your audio into, usually I record into my camera, not a problem, go straight into the audio jack in there. That's what I'm usually shooting into. If something just happens and I need a spare mic, I need to record a second person's audio who's in the frame as well, mate, this thing is gonna save my arse, mate. After making videos for like the last 9 years, mate, audio is basically at the top of my priority list when it comes to shooting video and audio. So yeah, mate, audio is so important. Make sure you've got like an external recorder. Like, look how small that is. That ain't taking up too much real estate in your bag, mate, let's be honest. Just too handy to have. That's why it's called like the handy recorder and that. Get it? Handy? Bosh. Next up, mate, is a external battery. This is a RAV Power one. I think it costs like 25 quid or something. It absolutely saves my arse, mate, when I run out of battery, either on my camera, on my gimbal, whatever I run out of battery on, mate, I can basically charge it off of this if I haven't got any power anywhere. Now, a lot of the times you're out shooting on location and you're outside, so you can't always whack a plug in the wall because there's no walls because you're outside and that. And one of the best things that I actually use this for is when I'm shooting like an interview or some kind of like long form video, I can actually take this to my tripod, whack this, go straight into my A7S or whatever camera I'm using, and I can actually extend the battery life of my A7S by like basically like 4 hours, mate, and it works an absolute treat. And if my gimbal batteries run out, I can just plug them into it, charge them up. Bosh. Next up, mate, absolutely boring one. I'm not being funny, mate. You've seen these since you were like probably 2, unless you're like 90 years old, because I don't know if they had batteries then. Standard Duracell batteries, like I don't really care what brand you use, but it's pretty obvious that batteries are needed nowadays. I need to power my H1, I need to power some different microphones. At the end of the day, mate, they're just handy to have in your bag, because I always end up using them for something. Next up, mate, the most boring thing in the world, yeah, but gaff tape. Gaff tape is probably the most important thing. Actually, no, it's the second most important. I was going to say that about the next thing, because the next thing is the most important thing that I actually take on my shoot. But yeah, anyway, gaff tape, absolutely sick, mate. Now, you can use gaff tape for a ton of different things. Gaff tape has literally saved my life in some scenarios. When I've had like things break on my camera, I literally had to tape my tripod together at one point. One of my tripod legs freaking snapped in half. You open up the locking system on a tripod, the leg goes up and down. I unlocked it and it snapped off, mate. The last thing I needed on a shoot, but you know what? I had me gaff tape. So what I've done, whip that bad boy up, tape that thing together, and here we go, mate. My tripod's gonna last the rest of the shoot, and I haven't lost all my money, and I haven't lost that client as well. The client was still like, yes, mate, that video was decent. Another thing that you can use gaff tape for is like marking stuff. So if you wanna stick marks on the floor for like your talent or whatever, if your talent's got to walk from point A to point B, you can tape down point A, tape down point B, so that they know where to start, where to stop, and you can also do that with your camera. So if you've got like a roaming camera, you're on a gimbal, you got to start position, then position, bosh line, done, mate. Now you can also get different colors to like do different things. So if you have, for example, got a marker for your talent, you can do like the talent's markers in black, you can do then the camera markers in white, whatever color you want. I'm quite inclusive as a person, so I try to incorporate all colors, if you know what I mean. But anyway, enough about the gaff tape, mate. Yeah. This stuff is the nuts. Next up, mate, and in my opinion, the most important thing that you can actually have in your camera bag, other than your camera, is a Hello multi-tool, mate. Don't know why I said hello, it's just a multi-tool. Yeah, mate, so a multi-tool. I've actually got a Stanley, mate. I don't know what this is, mate. It's Stanley something. But anyway, a lot of people get Leathermans, and Leathermans are a bit boutiquey for me, you know? They're like freaking 70, 100 quid, and I ain't spending 70, 100 quid on something that I can literally get for like 15 quid that's gonna last me forever. So yeah, mate, I've had this for about 3 years, this one. This one's done me very, very good. So obviously things like a pair of pliers. If you need to cut any cables for whatever reason, if you want to cut some zip ties. We've obviously got things like a bottle opener in case you want to crack open a beer mid-set, mate. I don't really recommend doing that because you probably won't get another job, but it's always worth keeping in the back of your mind that you can actually crack open a beer if things start to go downhill. Obviously, mate, screwdriver for loads of different things. Obviously, the main reason I actually use this is to screw the plates on the bottom of my camera and stuff like that. I've also got a saw in here. Not really the typical thing you do on set, but there has been a couple of situations where I'm shooting outside and we've like put the subject in like a bush and like shooting into the bush as if they're like looking out, being all creepy and that. But that has actually happened and I've had to like saw off a few leaves and stuff, not leaves, a few branches. So yeah, I've actually had to do that a couple of times. So this thing is actually coming handy. And you know what the other good thing is, mate? There's a knife on here. So whenever you're on set and the client's like, no, James, I want to shoot it from this angle. And I'm like, I'm not being funny, but it's actually going to work a lot better for the story if we shoot it from this angle to give them a bit more power and that. And they're like, no, James, I want to do it this side. I can actually pull this out and go, I've told you once. We're shooting it. No, obviously don't do that. And if you do that, I ain't liable. I didn't tell you to do that. That's just kind of like a joke, so please don't. This is the most important thing in my camera bag, other than my camera, I'd say. I literally can't remember a shoot where I did not have this in my back pocket. It's so handy to literally have like a load of tools just there in your back pocket if you need it. If the client needs something, you look so professional if you whip out one of these in a very fast situation. Shoots are very, very chaotic, very, very fast. And if you can whip out tools on the fly, mate, you're a G. So yeah, mate, this is the final thing that I would say you need in your camera bag that is literally going to change your life and more importantly save your ass when you're on set. Because if you're on set and you haven't got one of these things and you could have used one of them to fix a situation that is actually going to make or break the shoot, mate, you just need these things in your bag. I'm not being funny. All of these things are like under, well, the most expensive things a recorder, like what, 79 quid? The rest of it's like 20 quid, 15 quid. The battery pack's like what, 30 quid? I don't know. I'll leave all the links in the description for you. So let me know in the comments if you lot think I've left something here. Go, James, mate, not being funny, you should have had this in your camera bag for this reason. Because I'm all for updating my camera bag utility, do you know what I mean? So anything that you lot reckon, let me know in the comments and I'll be checking those out and I'll be catching you lot in the next video.